might be qualified to stretch Gennady Golovkin out and go the distance.
Now, that does not say that. I mean, he did go 12 rounds with Chavez, but Chavez is not quite as a vicious puncher in the early rounds as is Gennady Golovkin.
Rubio is, though, doing better as his career goes on in these fights where he enters as an underdog. He was destroyed by Kelly Pavlik, who may be the best fighter he's fought so far. But he did better against Chavez Jr. and against Lemieux, he actually pulled off the upset. So whether it's because the opponents are slightly worse in these underdog scenarios or whether he's getting better, he is faring better in these scenarios.
And now as Rubio gets into the ring and you take a look at his most significant past fights, we turn our attention to Triple G. Gennady Golovkin, rapidly gaining recognition as among the best of the best in this sport. His ascension to the top is the realization of big dreams, dreams supported and nurtured by the unique relationship he shares with his fraternal twin brother, Max.
Max is my twin brother. 22 years ago, my first time I went to a boxing gym with my brother.
They trained amongst other young men that were in the neighborhood, you know, they're just friends, so it made it fun for them.
We just fight as kids, yeah. Sometimes in home, in the street, yeah.
Max and Gennady were very competitive when they were younger, so it was easy to excel at what they were doing. Gennady, I think, had the more fire in his belly for it.
Several times we were in the same competition, but we never fought each other. Either my brother or myself would decided that we quit, we will not fight each other.
Right now he's my second trainer.
Max is a very integral part of our camp. More than anything, it's the fact that he knows Gennady better than anybody else does.
I'm just staying next to my brother and maybe I'm helping him psychologically be ready. I feel this is my role in this training camp.
Max is with us all the time, leading up to the fight, in the training and in the tactic and in the corner. Obviously, I will be giving instructions, and Max will be also giving instructions at different times just to make sure that we all see what we're supposed to be seeing for Gennady's benefit.
Here's a fascinating footnote to that story. We've been told that there were several junctures during their mutual development when Kazakh coaches and Kazakh Boxing Federation officials actually thought that younger brother Max was the superior prospect. However, ultimately, it became clear that Max was going to defer to older brother, even though older brother is only 15 minutes older. Showing you, Roy Jones, what a strong cultural trait that is in Eastern Europe.
Yes, very strong cultural trait. Back in the early biblical times, the older brother always had first dibs on everything. So the older brother automatically was the boss. In this case, they adhered to the same thing, the same concept. And you know, these guys are so nice that I couldn't see one guy not backing up for the other. That's just how they live.
And also, Gennady had the style that I think they both recognized, that everyone recognized, would translate better at the box office in the pros. Max was apparently a more technical fighter than Gennady, and Gennady was more aggressive.
Gennady had 4 fights last year, Max Kellerman. 3 fights this year because he lost a date when his father unexpectedly died in February. He's adamant about his desire to fight 4 times next year. That's also a part of the growing star profile.
Oh, this
right?
is what do we always talk about? Boxing fans are like, why doesn't this guy just fight all the time? And if he can't get the biggest stars in with him, fight the best available guy. That's Golovkin. He's not American. He's not Mexican. He's not Mexican-American, right? He doesn't have a built-in fan base that would be easy to market to. He has to become a star by being fan-friendly in and outside the ring. And fortunately, he is. He has a fan-friendly style in and out of the ring.
Well, this feels like a love-in in Carson, California. Not terribly far from where he trains in Big Bear, California. And Golovkin makes clear that he is planning to move here to Southern California next year, bringing his wife and 5-year-old son over from Stuttgart. He says he wants to make the move now so that his son can go to 1st grade in an American school.
It's going to be interesting to see the crowd response here in Southern California, an Eastern European fighting a Mexican fighter. If Gennady can win this crowd, he'll have really done something.
Notable wins. TKO 3, TKO 8, KO 3, TKO 10 again. 18 knockouts in a row. Highest knockout percentage of any middleweight titleist in history. Highest knockout percentage of any prominent fighter in the sport at this moment. And on the thrill meter, definitely number one. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from StubHub, Center Carson, California, USA, this is the main event of the evening. And it's all brought to you by K2 Promotions in association with Promociones de Pueblo and Sam Sebo 2017 and Tricamo.com. 12 rounds of boxing for the middleweight championship of the world. Sanctioned by the IBO, the WBA for its super title, and the WBC for the mandatory challenge to their world title. This fight held under the auspices of the California State Athletic Commission, Chairman John Frierson, Executive Director Andy Foster. Because of weighing in above the middleweight limit, the challenger will be officially unable to capture the title if victorious. At ringside, the three judges scoring this bout, Raul Caiz Sr., Max DeLuca, and Robert Hoyle. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Jack Reese. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the fighters are in the ring and ready. Are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner with his trainer Robert Garcia wearing black and officially weighing in at 161 3/4 pounds. His professional record, an outstanding one, consisting of 59 victories, including 52 wins by knockout with 6 defeats and 1 draw. From Torreón, Coahuila, Mexico, the former WBF Super Middleweight World Champion and former WBC Interim World Champion, El Veneno, Marco Antonio Rubio. And fighting out of the red corner with his trainer, Abel Sanchez, wearing blue, official weight, 159 pounds. Since capturing an Olympic medal, he has a perfect professional record. 30 fights, 30 victories, including 27 KOs with 17 consecutive KOs to date. His 90% knockout ratio, the highest in middleweight champions history. From Karaganda, Kazakhstan, the reigning, defending middleweight champion of the world, Gennady Triple G Golovkin.
Both instructions in the dressing room. I just want to remind you, listen, obey my commands at all time, protect yourself at all time. God bless both of you and good luck.
Triple G is the monster that everyone's come out to see. So far, against second-tier opposition, the best guys that would get in the ring with him, he's either met expectations or exceeded them every time out.
You ready?
This might be his biggest fight so far. Can he do it again?
Rubio's just a little bit longer and, of course, 3 inches taller.
Well,
And unofficially outweighs Golovkin 8 pounds. Yes, Roy?
in our first fight, I said at some point in the fight that Donaire needed to do something to change the momentum of the fight. Rubio has to do something immediately to change the tempo of the fight.
Meaning land something significant.
To get some respect, because if he doesn't, Gennady Golovkin will walk right through you.
Rubio can punch, and he's experienced.
Everybody talks about Golovkin's power punching. He lands more jabs per round than any top fighter in the sport. An average of 11 jabs landed per round. Fighters throw a lot of jabs, generally don't land them at a very high percentage. His body punching has also been known to be devastating.
He also keeps his chin tucked well, controls distance well, cuts the ring well.
350 amateur fights, 30 pro fights, never knocked down.
Very economical, a guy that doesn't waste a lot of punches, and he's fighting this fight pretty smart from the start. He's standing right in, not wasting a lot of energy, because he knows that Rubio, with the experience factor, probably expects to take him the distance or try to get him in that deep water, which is what we call the late rounds.
Rubio's landed a couple of pretty good shots. Back Golovkin up at one point with a jab, lands a hard right to the body there.
When Golovkin jabs, his right hand comes out a little bit too to catch a counter, and it's discouraging for his opponent.
And there are two thudding right hands upstairs by Golovkin, the second of which backs Rubio up a couple steps.
Good thing for Rubio was that he blocked both of them, and that's probably why he kept that weight advantage, so that he can withstand this type of an onslaught.
Golovkin's critics say he's too available to be hit. He hasn't been tested. And at some point, you expect to see something bad happen, and we'll find out how he deals with adversity. But it hasn't happened yet.
Let him go, fight out.
Even though the Dodgers have been knocked out of postseason baseball, Golovkin has a Dodger logo on his trunks, hoping to help build a little more affection here in Southern California.
And Adrian Gonzalez is in the crowd, Dodger first baseman.
Oh, hard hook and a right hand by Golovkin. Rubio comes back with a right hand of his own.
Yeah, he did answer that right back immediately.
Like a pro.
Yes, he did, like a seasoned veteran.
And Golovkin seems to know that Rubio can punch a little bit.
He does.
How'd you feel it? How'd you feel him? Okay? How'd you feel the power? No, nothing good. So now what you have to do, when you throw, blend your knees. Now don't let him fake you. Don't let him fake you. Don't lead it up. Close it up when you're on the inside, those punches. And push them back, send them back with those punches.
Okay, we gotta be inside first. We got 3 or 4 rounds to practice and do the things we want to do. Right? Okay. Max.
He see Gennady coming forward. They exchange hooks, then he lands an overhand right, followed by another overhand right. Probably his best 2 punches, but Rubio did try to answer back with the right uppercut.
Yeah, Rubio speared him with that right uppercut, answering back effectively, but CompuBox numbers in round 1. Golovkin 30 out of 71, Rubio 15 out of 59. GGG with a 16-10 edge in power shots.
Good right hand from Rubio.
No great power puncher is an immaculate defender, and Golovkin is no different than that. So far, his chin has withstood everything, and right now he's getting to throw power shots at Rubio.
He talks not only of his Mexican style, Golovkin, but of his predator instinct, and you can see it there. He's always looking to attack and to hurt.
Rubio working to the body, getting in a couple of good shots. Golovkin comes back to the body and gets in a better shot.
They exchanged some really good body shots in that last exchange. Oh, good uppercut.
Hard uppercut by Golovkin. Momentarily wobbled Rubio. Now he's got him pinned against the ropes.
And see how he varies here.
Predator at work. Down goes Rubio.
Touch, touch, touch. Smash.
Cinco.
Left hook smash.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Second round knockout. He didn't make it up.
Rubio is indicating that he didn't hear the count or that something happened to the back of his head, but it looked to me, Roy, like he'd had enough. He didn't want to get up.
It had the feel of a short count, but it didn't look as though he was alert enough to get up. What do you say, Roy?
Well, I thought he was alert enough. I just think he laid there thinking he had more time, and I don't think he had as much time as he thought that he had.
Academic, really.
Yes, it was only a matter of time. It's always just a matter of time. Second round knockout. And with a little shrug and a big hug, Rubio shows his respect for Gennady Golovkin. Mexican style.
You know, I got to say, considering here in Southern California, so many fans showing up, Mexican fighter and in front of a lot of Mexican-American fight fans here, doesn't make weight. Rubio, real nice guy, a good career so far, doesn't make weight, doesn't fight back to the extent that maybe you thought he would, and seems to have been content to lay on the canvas once he was knocked down. A little bit surprising and less than perfectly satisfying.
And suggests that he didn't really think he had a chance. He fought as though he thought he had a chance. He was firing right hands.
Well, this uppercut right here, as you see from Triple G, a left hook to the head followed by a beautiful right uppercut, that will make you quickly realize that maybe you don't have a chance, and maybe you have stepped in a fire a little bit more hotter than you expected it to be. Followed by a beautiful body shot, then he continues the attack. But that right uppercut was a devastating shot, and then down he goes from the left hook.
And maybe that is to Golovkin's credit that he could beat the fight out of a real fighter like Rubio seemingly so easily.
And look at how he adjusted the arc on the left hook
that's what Rubio
to get
said.
it over Rubio's guard.
He said he hit me in the top of the head. He sure did, and he seemed like he jammed your neck down to where your chin was supposed to be. And my goodness, what a power shot that guy can throw.
Here's Michael Buffer with the official particulars on the knockout. He's looking at the replay and enjoying it just like us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 1 minute and 19 of round number 2. The winner by knockout victory. His record now, 31 fights, 31 victories, 28 knockouts, 18 consecutive knockouts to date, and he is still the undefeated middleweight champion of the world, Gennady Triple G Golovkin.
You know, Roy, this is very much like the early days of Mike Tyson. You're going to get your money's worth, but you got to get it in a hurry. It doesn't last long.
Every time he steps in the ring, you better have your popcorn already gotten, have your sodas already ready, and you may have a mouthful of it because if you look down to take a bite or a drink, you might miss the fight.
Final CompuBox numbers. Gennady Golovkin landing 45 out of 99. So he lands 24 more, he throws 23 more. He lands at a significantly higher connect percentage, and he destroys Rubio with power punches, just as he's done with every other opponent so far. Power shots. Power shots. Ah, there we go. Landed 28 to 13 for Rubio. Through 54 to 40 for Rubio. Anytime a fighter lands at above 50% in the power punch category, he's almost certain to be the winner of the fight. Max Kellerman stands by with Triple G.
Gennady, you said that this is not a dance, it's a fight. You call this Mexican style, that you love to fight. Did you love this fight?
Of course I love this fight. Max, give me a chance, just I take my fans. Thank you very much. Buenas noches, amigos. Buenas noches, StubHub. ¿Cómo estás? Bien? Yeah. Muchas gracias, Mexican style. Muchas gracias, champion, campeón. Thank you very much.
So tell me about this fight.
Of course, I like fight. I don't like dancing, I like fight. This is true fight.
Did Rubio put up the kind of fight that you were expecting?
Yes, of course. Yeah, you know, just Rubio, he's not step back. You know, he's fighter. He's a good fighter. Respect him.
Did you think he was going to get up from that knockdown?
You know, yeah, first time, I'm not very hard punch. Just throw him. I think he's get up.
Okay, Gennady, we've seen you now destroy all the contender middleweights who are not elite middleweights. We know that you've wanted to fight an elite middleweight for a while now. What is the plan after this knockout?
Max, look at me. I have 3 belts. You know, I'm staying here. I won't fight everybody. Just I think next year, next fight, is pay-per-view fight with great champions.
Meaning who?
Doesn't matter. I think first, Miguel Cotto. Respect him. He's great champions, Miguel Cotto.
The promotional issue with Canelo Alvarez in terms of an impediment to making that fight seems to be resolved. What about Canelo?
Of course. I respect him. He's a good boy. You know, and Chavez Jr. too. I won't fight. And I think so first, Miguel. Respect him.
Gennady, this is the first time fighting in Southern California. You sold out all the tickets. Next time, I'm sure it'll be a bigger venue than it was today. When can we expect you back in Los Angeles?
Of course, this is my first fight in California, yeah. First, thank you very much for my fans, for my friends. Thank you, guys. I love you.
That'll do. Congratulations, as usual, Triple G. Jim?
All right. So the question continues, how does Gennady Golovkin, demonstrating the kind of force he does in the ring, get top opponents into the ring with him? Does this make it any more likely, Roy Jones, they can attract a Miguel Cotto, a Canelo Alvarez, a Carl Froch, a Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., any of the guys who might conceivably fight him at 160 or 168?
Well, this doesn't make for an attraction for those guys because this guy still looks like a monster, a killing machine, a young middleweight modern Mike Tyson. I mean, he's a guy that just destroys everybody that they put in front of him. So these guys are not going to be scratching or knocking the door down to get in the ring in front of Gennady Golovkin, believe me. However, if they look at it from a paying point of view, LA is the place to come fight him at because the fans supporting. You can make a lot of money with the fan support. And I think really if we got somebody with a big name like a Miguel Cotto, he could cross over and become that pay-per-view guy.
Well, it's kind of poetic that Rubio unofficially outweighed him 8 pounds in the ring tonight, because if he can't get a fight at 160, then he maybe has to go to 168 to fight a Carl Froch, or a representative of Andre Ward's camp sent me a note this morning saying Andre wants to fight him. He'll fight him anywhere, anytime. A fight with Andre Ward here in Southern California would be very marketable, right?
That would be a wonderful fight. That would be, if I were promoting him, that's exactly what I would do if I were Andre, because Andre needs opponents that can stay in front of him and make it a chess match. This is the perfect guy for Andre Ward to fight. I would love to see that fight. It would be a great fight for the network and for the fans.
And again, Ward's lawyer sent me an email today saying he'll fight him. He'll fight him whenever. Meanwhile, I spoke to you at the beginning of the fight about the whole, come to Southern California, Mexican-style experiment. What a success, huh?
Yeah, and I want to mention a word about Andre Ward. I think it says something that the only top fighter that seems willing to get in the ring with Golovkin might be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, who's in his physical prime, an Olympic gold medalist who hasn't won since he was 12 years old, cleaned out his division, and by the